What's up, Internet? We are here once again with 401 Real Game. It's a new week. We got some new games to play, and they might actually be good games this week, we can hope. Really, we need some good games after the last few. So we start with Volgard. Or Volgard 2, I guess. And this looks like Scramble. In fact, I'm pretty sure this is just a sprite hack of Scramble, which, I mean, Scramble's an okay game. Huh. I don't know, like, it seems like it is an official game, but I can't say I've ever heard of Volgard. Then again, I'm hardly the expert on NES stuff. I'm doing this stuff basically just as a learning experience because I like pirate carts and I think they're fascinating, but you know, Scramble's fun, and this is like Scramble, so that's good. I know I've seen a couple of games that were kinda like this on this cart. And by that I mean side-scrolling shooters. But there was this one, I can't remember what it was, but it ended up with fighting like this giant walking city. It was interesting. Okay, so your power recovers over time. But I think it's based on how much damage you do as well, so you gotta actually be careful, you can't just hammer the button. The music is really repetitive. I don't think it's a particularly decent sounding game, and I mean, to be fair, it's on the Retron 3, it's not gonna sound good at all, but I mean, it's repeating itself and looping after, like, a second. That's not ideal. Da 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 da. Congratulations, you've heard the entire soundtrack to this game. Don't you feel special? I mean, there's nothing wrong with this game. It's playing just fine. It's not interesting, but I mean, it's doing a thing that is being a kind of sensible game. Okay. Seriously, can we get some different music notes up in this place, please? I know that might be a lot to ask for, but we desperately need it. Oh god, it's the things from, Xevious. I'm not allowed to shoot them, this sucks. Someone took some cues from Xevious. And not in a good way. Did that thing just try and kill me from behind? What the hell, game? Oh, hey, now I got a little buddy. That's actually kind of neat. You know, I can't think of what that game was, but there was a game where, yeah, it was a vertical scrolling shmup. And you flew around as a ship, as you do, but all your other lives were all in play at once, and they were your wingmen flying in formation with you. And I thought that was a genuinely interesting idea, because that meant that you didn't really have any extra lives, because your extra lives were always in play, and they were all just as vulnerable as you were. Oh, a thing's happening. Oh hey, this is actually that game, I think. Or something like this, because I remember fighting something that was vaguely like this city. Except in that game I remember you could walk around as like a robot or something on the ground. Uh-oh, I'm running out of energy. Still, I think this was a version of that game that I played back in the day, so I guess Volgard might have been the original, unless this is still just that same game, but a minor hack or something. I don't know. I don't think I'm all that familiar with the second Volgard, or even the first one, but again, My familiarity with that game was also on a pirate cart, so they could be two different pirate carts with two different names for that game. Next we have Mario Bros, which is actually Mario Bros. Hooray! Original Mario Bros. Back before they were super. Back before there was actually an adventure. It was just an arcade game. And not a particularly interesting one, but still, you know, it worked well enough. Knock stuff up on its ass. And then knock it off the platform. Now, I don't know if this was true about the original Mario Bros. Or not, or if this is just because it's on this pirate card or whatever, but this is ridiculously slippery. And I noticed, like, some of the animation for the running seems to, like, actually disappear for a little bit, so that might be the case of it being part of this pirate thing. It's just, something with the copyright messed up or something. As that sometimes is the case. Oh no! How many more of you stupid turtles do I have to kill before you get the point? I get I'm amazing, stop making me prove it. Now, the nice thing about this game is, if you have any of those terrible Game Boy Advance Mario games, you get this game for free on all of them. For reasons I don't really understand, but like every Mario game on the Game Boy Advance has this in it for some reason, just like as a free add-on. It's like, well, it's not an interesting game, but it's free, so okay. Hooray! And I got it with no time left. That's how stylish I want it to be. Now we have to fight angry crabs that seem to have half their, well, a quarter of their sprite disappeared for some reason. Oh yeah, these freaking crabs get angry and you have to knock them over again. Ah, your momentum meant that you couldn't fall down the hole, and instead you got carried to the other side of the screen. Don't you feel silly, Mr. Crab? I bet you do. Aww. We have to run away from the crab with the big angry grimace. I guess they don't want multiple enemies overlapping each other. I do like that the crabs look visibly angry when you knock them over. It's like, oh, we actually gave them personality. That's kind of nice. Oh god, I don't want to be here. Oh. Now I wish I could just jump through the platforms. And, you know, actually land on top. Oh. Game over. Oh well. It's very, very rudimentary. It's before they were super, and it shows, because that game is not particularly super, but it is Mario Bros. Next we have PacMan, which is in fact PacMan. Now, I wonder how true this game is to the actual arcade experience, because if I recall, there is a spot in original PacMan that is a dead zone where none of the ghosts can actually catch you. And, I can't remember where it is specifically. I know it's on the lower half of the screen. I kind of have an idea where it might be. So, let's just find out, because I know a couple places where it could be. Let's see if they can catch me. Because, I mean, I think we all know what PacMan is, and, you know, it's a decent rendition of PacMan. But let's see if they can actually catch me. Okay, so that was not the spot. There's a couple other spots it could be, but they're all relatively in that sort of central middle lower area. So it could either be here or the spot 2 squares to the left of where I am. And now PacMan is basically just an iPhone app called PacMan 256. It's not there either. So there's one more place it could be, and if it's not there, then I'm guessing they programmed this game slightly differently than the original arcade release, anyway. But I do know that the ghosts were all originally programmed differently as well. Like, the orange one was programmed to completely ignore you. Yep, nope, this is programmed differently. I think the pink one was designed to follow you pretty doggedly. There was one that was, like, designed to kind of follow you, but they had to take, like, special turns at certain intersections or something. So there was, like, a genuine sort of sense of personality with all the different ghosts, just based on how they were ultimately programmed to respond to your actions. Oh god. Keep going, Pac guy. Hooray! And that's how you PacMan. Etc. I mean, it's not Mrs. Pac-Man or even Casey Munchkin. They're not going to change too much on you. Casey Munchkin was interesting, but that was a game that was sued for being too similar to Pac-Man, which is funny because that was back before, you know, really you could just make games that were homages and everything was cool with people, for the most part. Next we have Donkey Kong 1, which is actually Donkey Kong. If you want to play a good version of this game, get the Game Boy rendition, because it's this game and then an entire giant game beyond it. In fact, it's kind of like a giant heel turn on you, because it's like, whoa, there's more to this game than actually just the game? Wow. Okay, you want to hear a really sad story about this game for me? I, for a very brief time, had Donkey Kong 64, and, like, very, very brief. My family hated video games. I got Donkey Kong 64 on my birthday, and I think the day after my dad smashed it, but, I had Donkey Kong 64, and I ended up renting it because I wanted to play it so badly. I got all the way to the final boss, and the final boss was behind a door that required you to collect 2 coins from 2 classic rare games. One of which was original Donkey Kong, and one of which was Jetpack. And I got the one from Jetpack, but I did not have the one from original Donkey Kong. And I could not beat the game because I could not beat this level in original Donkey Kong. And it was all because of that damn spring thing over there. Of course, it was the arcade version, so there was actually like an extra 4th level, but it's just that this spring thing is just stupid. Like, you're okay here, but after that, no promises. Like, look how close that was. I mean, it's Donkey Kong. It's a good game. Very simple. It's a game where, like, the highest rated guy in the world just got all of his high scores removed from it because he was a cheater, apparently. I know that. Billy Mitchell lost all his scores. So maybe this means, what was the other guy? Steve Wiebe from The King of Kong. Maybe he'll finally get his scores back, hopefully. Because he seemed like the nicer of the 2 guys anyway. But, that's Donkey Kong for you. It's a game where you make a monkey angry, and then some stuff happens. And then you fall on your head because you're a spaz. Space. It goes on forever and ever, until you get to the end and a monkey starts throwing barrels at you. Words of wisdom from Philip J. Fry. I gotta watch some more Futurama. That's one thing that made me really sad, is Futurama used to be on Netflix and now it's not. And I think that is a massively missed opportunity. But I guess it's just like their license expired and they would have had to have paid more to have it on there, I guess. Like, I don't pretend I understand how Netflix works, but I never got the idea that they remove stuff from their service. Like, I temporarily was, like, with the Xbox Game Pass service, because they had, like, a super sale where you get, like, 3 months free for, like, $3. 3 months free. 3 months for $3. But, even though it's a digital library of their own games, they get removed and shuffled around, and it's like, why are you doing this? In fact, that's kind of what I'm curious about the Nintendo Switch digital, like, NES program is. Like, they say they keep adding new games, but do they remove the old ones at some point? Like, I genuinely don't know. And if you pay $20 a year, you can buy really expensive Switch controllers for reasons that you don't have an NES controller and a thing that can play NES games. I don't know. Playing things online and modern gaming in general just make things a lot more complicated than they ever need be. Next is Dig Dug, which is in fact Dig Dug, one of the best arcade games, though not as good as Outrun. If you want to play a really good version of this, you can get like it digitally on like PS3 and Xbox 360, and it's basically arcade perfect. And if you're into like achievements and trophies, you can get that with them as well. Although I think one of them's broken, because even though I don't care about achievements or trophies, I like Dig Dug enough I wanted to try and see if I could get all of them. I got all of them but one, and the one I didn't get was cover every square in a map, and I did that, but it just didn't work for me. I don't know. But, you know, modern gaming, it's nothing but a bunch of extra hassle and waiting instead of actually just playing a game. And that's why I think I like retro gaming better. You don't have to wait for like 12 different things to update and install, and a weird thing to say, oh hey, your thing's ready to play, but you can't actually play it because for whatever reason things say they're ready once they've downloaded 2 gigabytes of like 50 gigabytes, but you still can't do jack all with it. Seriously, why is that a thing? I don't know. Modern gaming is weird. And don't get me wrong, there's some great games nowadays, but not as many as I'd like there to be. Like, I still don't think there's really much of a reason to own a modern console. I mean, there's a reason why I still call, like, Xbox One, PS4, and the, like, next gen, because I still haven't seen much of a convincing argument as to why you should actually own one. And that's coming from someone who owns all of them. But I own all of them for my job. Because I feel like I need to actually be able to play everything for this channel at some point if I want to cover everything fairly. I don't want to stand there. Oh, squish. Poor Dig Dug. He's getting too old for this shit. That's why in the next game he had to send his son. Mr. Driller. Actually, the next game after this was New Dig Dug on the Game Boy Advance, and then Dig Dug 2, I think. There's a lot of Dig Dug games. There was a Dig Dug Online at one point. Dig Dug is awesome. There's just a huge legacy of Dig Dug, and Dig Dug is just such an amazingly fun game. Very simple, but, you know, it's a great game. Oh god, the puka! I got killed by the puka while I was trying to kill the Fygar. That's the trick with Dig Dug. When you're fighting multiple enemies, you have to sort of like rapid pump one, back up, and then hit the other one. And it usually works if you know what you're doing. But it's been a while since I've played proper Dig Dug on the NES, or anything really. It's been a while. Which is a shame, I love Dig Dug. But that has been these 5 games. Volgard... I'm struggling to even remember what Volgard was. Oh yeah, it was that shooter where you fought the city at the end. See, it said Volgard 2. I'm not even sure if that's an actual sequel or if it's just a sprite hack of original Volgard, if that was what it was originally called. But I remember playing this game under a different name, and I can't remember what. And I remember being able to transform into a robot and run around on the ground at the same time. So I don't know if it's really a sequel or a hack, or if I played a hack first, but it's an okay shooter, but it's nothing great, especially this iteration of it. Mario Bros. Is original Mario Bros. It's very much not super, but it is Mario Bros. PacMan is what you get, as is Donkey Kong, and Dig Dug is the amazing arcade smash hit that it always was. Would these past 5 games make this cartridge worth owning? If you're into more retro, old-school arcade games, absolutely. Because, you know, Volgard, I'm not wildly impressed with, but I remember playing a better iteration of it before, so I'll give it a pass. Mario is not a game I'm particularly interested in, but it's not a bad game by any means. Pac-Man is Pac-Man, Donkey Kong is Donkey Kong, and Dig Dug is amazing. And if you like those sort of games, you're going to love these 5 games, obviously. And because of the fact that it is more of an homage to retro arcade games, I think that it is worth it. But join me next week where we take a look at Bomberman. Hey, that's a name I actually recognize. Hooray! On CoolBoy 401 Real Game. And if you like this, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments. And if you really want to help support the show, hit up the Patreon, and then get yourself onto the Patreon supporters Discord, where we can talk about how awesome Dig Dug actually is. Because let's just be honest, Dig Dug is amazing. Seriously, it just is. Outside of Outrun, there is no better arcade game. Okay, well, maybe there is actually quite a few, but still, Outrun and Dig Dug are definitely up there for best arcade games out there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next week. Peace out, Internet.